Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. If everyone can start finding their seats, and if you're a student being hooded today, please take your hood off because when you get on stage, your mentor will hood you with that, okay? Just want to make sure everybody knew that. Congratulations.
Faculty, students, and families, it is my honor to present to you the processional ceremony. Dean Bain and Associate Dean DeMarco, I present to you candidates for the degrees of Juris Doctorate, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Doctor of Education, and Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Louisville's graduating class of August and December 2021.
Hello, everybody. I am pleased to welcome our graduates and their mentors, families, and friends to this very special hooding and graduation ceremony. This is for all of those who have earned terminal degrees since May of '21. A terminal degree is the highest degree in a particular discipline. Today we celebrate those who have earned the Juris Doctorate, the Doctor of Education, and the Doctor of Philosophy. I'm pleased to be sharing the stage today with Dean Lars Smith of the Brandeis School of Law, and he will now come to the podium to address his students.
Welcome and congratulations to the graduates of the Louis D. Brandeis School of Law. To reach this day was hard work. Long days and nights, many sacrifices, hours upon hours of reading, writing, memorizing, and exam taking. Through it all, you've overcome stress and exhaustion and the hurdles we all face in our personal lives. You are here today because you have persevered. You should be very proud. We are certainly all extremely proud of you. As a graduate, you now join the ranks of prestigious attorneys, business leaders, and public servants, creating positive change in communities across the nation and around the world. With this great achievement of receiving your JD comes an important obligation for you to give back. This expectation of service and public-spirited action is not limited to a particular kind of attorney engaged in a specific type of practice, but instead for all attorneys. We look forward to your own contributions and know you will bring great honor to our school. As you prepare for the next phase in your career, I want to remind you that we at the law school support your efforts. Come back to our website to see what's happening at the law school and with your classmates. As your career and life progress, I hope that you will stay in touch with us. I'm proud to count you among our graduates. Finally, as you celebrate this achievement, I encourage you to thank the friends and family who supported you on this path. I'm sure that none of you got here alone. I am excited to see what you do next. I know you will continue to make the University of Louisville proud as you move into the next phase of your career. Congratulations.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Dean Smith. I have the great pleasure of introducing Irina Vanjula, the outstanding student in the graduate school, who will give the student remarks. But before I do so, I would like to say a few words to our graduates. About 8 years ago, I gave commencement remarks about the hard work it takes to earn a terminal degree. To be successful in earning a doctorate and in life, you must demonstrate skill in the 8 R's. Reading, writing, arithmetic, please forgive me, and also rigor, risk-taking, resilience, responsibility, and respect for diversity. You will note that these last 5 are not about disciplinary expertise that you learned in the classroom or lab, but they're attributes of mind and attitudes that you further developed while working side by side with others as a graduate student at the University of Louisville. I want to focus for a few minutes today on that last R, respect for diversity. Respect for diverse opinions, diverse disciplinary heuristics and tools, diverse cultural and gender identities, and diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. We have learned a great deal about the necessity of diverse interdisciplinary teams during the pandemic. We know that to solve the many complex problems we face as a nation and as a world, whether overcoming the next mutation of the virus or working toward equity and social justice, we must find ways to use all of the talents and all of the skills that each of us possesses. Scott Page, a professor of political science and economics at the University of Michigan, wrote a book now probably 10 years ago called The Difference: How the Power of Diversity Creates Better Groups, Firms, Schools, and Societies. He employs mathematical modeling to demonstrate that, over and over and over again, diverse teams trump individual ability, even individual genius, when it comes to solving problems. Rather than ponder ethical questions like, why can't we get along with folks who look different than us or hold opinions different than ours, questions which are nevertheless important questions to ask in a democratic society, Dr. Page asks practical questions like this one. How can we solve more and bigger problems together? The answer, he suggests, is in sometimes messy, creative organizations' environments with individuals from vastly different backgrounds and life experiences and disciplinary homes. One of his core claims, and this is a quote, is that diverse perspectives, experiences, and tools enable collections of people to find more and better solutions than collections of people who have similar backgrounds, experiences, and educations. In other words, diverse teams contribute more to an organization's overall productivity and problem-solving success than do homogeneous ones. Respect for diversity in all its forms is a quality I hope you have developed at the University of Louisville. Today's group of graduates is one of our most diverse ever. We have graduates with different racial, religious, and gender identities. They come to us from all across the United States in at least 11 different countries, including China, Iran, India, Nigeria, Tunisia, Sweden. We also have great disciplinary diversity represented here today. The law, humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, engineering, public health, education, and more. I want to just share a bit of an article that appeared in Inside Higher Education earlier this month on how higher education at all levels should model a better workplace culture. The article by Suri Duich, a dean at Tulane, reminded me of my 8R speech from several years ago. He says, what do people need to be professionally and personally successful in a post-COVID world? Quote, certainly they need deep knowledge from their fields of study and good fundamental communication and computation skills. Those are the 3 R's, right? Reading, writing, and arithmetic. He said, but just as important, however, are the attributes of flexibility and adaptability, curiosity, empathy, resilience, and proactive thinking, each of which is needed to grapple successfully with unpredictable future circumstances. Amid so much upheaval as COVID has shown us, success in both our professional and personal lives now depends on an individual's ability to manage uncertainty and navigate through ambiguity, adapt to new technologies, speak up and advocate constructively, and step outside their personal echo chambers to connect with those of differing perspectives and backgrounds. That's where his quote ends. So in other words, we must develop the positive attitude of respect for diversity in all its forms, to politely and respectfully listen to and work with people with whom we disagree or think we might disagree. And we need to use all of our skills together to navigate the unpredictable future. You all inspire me for having the resilience to persist during the pandemic to get your degrees, and I'm very proud that you're here. And today, while we celebrate each of you individually with exceptional abilities who have successfully completed the highest degrees in your disciplines, we also celebrate the diversity of cultures, talents, and perspectives you represent as a collection of scholars. You are what the future of the Academy looks like. American graduate education remains the envy of the world. And at the University of Louisville, we are committed to remaining accessible to the brightest students from the United States and around the globe. Those traits represented by my 8 R's and drew it to his list of necessary attributes for a post-COVID world are not only a recipe for earning the doctorate, they're a recipe for a happy and productive life. I'm grateful that each of you chose to do your graduate work at the University of Louisville, and on behalf of all of us in the graduate school, we wish you, your mentors, and your family and friends happy and successful lives. I have to introduce the student, though. Why? Okay. Okay.
Families and students, at this time we're going to take a pause and we will resume shortly. Why don't we pull him on stage so it doesn't happen again? Thank you for your patience. We will resume our ceremony, and I'll reintroduce to you Dr. Beth Bain.
Always something. Let me introduce Irina Vanjula. She's the graduate school's outstanding student and the recipient of the Guy Stevenson Award for Excellence in Graduate Studies. It was named for a former dean of the graduate school, and it's presented to an outstanding doctoral degree recipient who has demonstrated excellence in both scholarship and leadership within their discipline. Irina has demonstrated exceptional skills and productivity throughout her time in the doctoral program in clinical psych in the Department of Psychological and Brain Sciences. Irina came to the United States to study psychology following a successful career as a journalist in her native St. Petersburg, Russia. Having studied abroad in the United States during her journalism degree, she later decided to permanently move to the US, and she obtained a second undergraduate degree in psychology at the University of Illinois. She was awarded U of L's most prestigious graduate scholarship, a university fellowship, and maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout her doctoral studies. Her research integrates her clinical training and experience in mindfulness under the supervision of Dr. Paul Salmon with her clinical training and experience in eating disorder and cognitive behavior therapy interventions under the supervision of Dr. Sherry Levinson. Her dissertation is an ambitious, cutting-edge, and high-impact project with important implications for public health, and her nominators note that it's a great interest to the field of psychology, clinical psychology in particular. Irina's ability to focus and her considerable writing and organizational skills, along with expertise in complex statistical methods, have led to a very high level of research productivity. She has co-authored over 23 peer-reviewed journal articles as a student. Irina completed a highly competitive pre-doctoral internship program at the University of Chicago School of Medicine, and she's currently a postdoctoral fellow in a prestigious eating disorder program at Johns Hopkins University. She's already an emerging leader in the field of eating disorders and clinical psychology, and I ask you to please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Bay. Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor to be receiving this Guy Stevenson Award, and I'm so grateful to be standing here with you in person instead of the video screen. I think we've all had enough of those for a while in the last 2 years. When I found out that I was getting this award, my initial thought was, how did I get selected? It must have been that very few people were nominated. I'm sure the sentiment is familiar to many of you sitting here. The imposter syndrome, feeling like a fraud and doubting one's accomplishments. That is so prevalent in academia. I came to the conclusion, though, that the imposter syndrome is a necessary part of getting a graduate degree. Graduate school makes you question everything you know and even doubt yourself. I believe it has to break you down before building you back up as a professional, a new person in your field. But I hope that today is the day when you get to see at least a glimpse of the person you have become. See yourself through the eyes of your mentors, supervisors, and future employers. You are talented, you are well-trained, and you do belong here. If you think you heard me speak with an accent, you are correct. It gets particularly strong in anxiety-provoking situations like public speaking. I grew up in St. Petersburg, Russia, and I didn't know any English until I started taking some courses in middle school. Even 14 years ago, when I first moved to the United States, I would have needed a dictionary to translate the word of this speech. At 23, I packed up my entire life into 2 very heavy suitcases and moved across the world, leaving the life I knew behind. I had a master's in journalism from one of the top universities in Russia, but the only job I could find during my first year here was a cashier at a grocery store. Like so many immigrants, I had to start over, repeating most of my education. It took me 7 years to decide to go back to school to pursue psychology. So to all of my fellow immigrants and international students, I see you. You matter, and you do belong here. But I don't want to make this talk about me overcoming adversities. Dr. Boehm just listed my numerous accomplishments. And yes, I worked hard, was persistent through many obstacles, but none of this would have been enough without the many opportunities that were given to me. As an educated white woman whose parents went to college and who had the financial abilities to go back to school, I had multiple privileges that allowed me to overcome those obstacles. And today, I'm especially aware of so many talented individuals who don't get to walk on this stage because they didn't have the same educational and financial opportunities that I did. Maybe they struggled to navigate educational environment as a first-generation college student, or maybe didn't have time to volunteer as a research assistant, an experience required by most graduate programs, because they had to have a paying job. This is especially true for families of immigrants, BIPOC individuals, and members of other minority groups that are underrepresented in academia. So to all of you, you are talented, you matter, and you do belong here. And I want to use this opportunity to call upon my fellow graduates to level the playing field and hold the doors open for those walking behind you. Today, I'm filled with gratitude to everyone who played a part in me standing here. I want to thank my undergraduate school advisor, Dr. Carrie Switzer and Dr. Cheryl Reminger, for introducing me to research and creating opportunities for me to do an independent study. I want to thank my director of clinical training, Dr. Barbara Stetson, who was selfless enough to allow me to switch labs my third year. I don't know how I can ever thank enough my mentor, Dr. Sherry Levinson, who pushed me relentlessly to reimagine my own limits and grow more than I ever thought was possible. And I also want to thank my clinical supervisors who helped shape me into the clinician I am today. Dr. Paul Salmon, Alex Pruitt, Street Russell, and Stephen O'Connor. And finally, I want to thank my partner, David, who created an atmosphere in which I could focus on my studies and who always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. Congratulations to all my fellow graduates, and I'm so joyful that we get to share this moment with our families, friends, and mentors in person. Thank you.
Now I'd like to ask Dr. Paul DeMarco to the podium. He is the Associate Dean of the Graduate School, and he will announce some very special awards for our students.
Thank you, Dean Boehm. I would first like to introduce the recipients of some special awards that are conferred by the Graduate School. Please refer to your program for bios extolling the accomplishments of each of our honorees. It is my pleasure to reintroduce Irena Fanzula, recipient of the Guy Stevenson Award for Excellence in Graduate Studies. This is the highest award given by the Graduate School. Irena carried the school banner during today's ceremony and will carry the banner tonight at the main commencement ceremony. Irena earns today a Doctor of Philosophy in Clinical Psychology as well as the Graduate Dean's citation. Irena is joined today by Associate Professor Sherry Levinson and Dr. Beth Bim, Dean of the Graduate School. Victory Oseken Osezwa is the recipient of the John Richard Binford Memorial Award. Victory earns today a Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health Sciences, as well as the Graduate Dean's Citation. Victory is joined today by Dr. Muriel Harris and Dr. Craig Blakely, Dean of the School of Public Health and Information Sciences. Brett Robert Janis is the recipient of the John M. Houchins Prize for Outstanding Dissertation. Brett has earned a Doctor of Philosophy in Biology, as well as the Graduate Dean's Citation. Brett is joined today by Professor Michael Mensa and Dr. Beth Boehm, Dean of the Graduate School. Ashley Renee Ezo is the recipient of the Alice Eves Barnes Award for Outstanding Achievement in a Master's Program. Ashley has earned a Master of Arts in Anthropology as well as the Graduate Dean's Citation. Ashley is joined today by Assistant Professor Catherine Markelin and Dr. Beth Boehm, Dean of the Graduate School. This concludes the awards portion of the ceremony. I would now like to invite Professor Lars Smith, Interim Dean of the Brandeis School of Law, to join in congratulating the students from his school as we begin to announce the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. Olivia Renee Hester, Juris Doctorate. Olivia graduates cum laude and is joined by co-faculty mentors Professor Jamie Abrams and Assistant Professor Dan Cannon. Christian Lucas Emerson, Juris Doctorate. Kristen graduates cum laude and is joined by co-faculty mentors Professor Jamie Abrams and Assistant Professor Dan Cannon. Jessica Marie Moore, Juris Doctorate. Jessica is joined by co-faculty mentors Professor Jamie Abrams and Assistant Professor Dan Cannon. Brooklyn Alcorn, Juris Doctorate. Brooklyn is joined by co-faculty mentors Professor Jamie Abrams and Assistant Professor Dan Cannon.
Congratulations.
I would now like to ask Dr. Amy Lingo, Interim Dean for the College of Education and Human Development, to join in congratulating students from her college as we announce the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education. Kendra M. Nolan, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Kendra is joined by faculty mentor Professor Kyle Engel. Rachel Leanne Baker, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Rachel is joined by co-faculty mentors Professor Kyle Engel and Assistant Professor Deborah Powers. Julie Chancellor, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Julie is joined by co-faculty mentors Associate Professor Shelley Thomas and Professor Kyle Engel. James Edward McMillan, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. James' co-faculty mentors are Professor Kyle Engel and Assistant Professor Deborah Powers. Aaron Lee Seal, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Aaron's faculty mentor is Professor Mary Bryden Miller. Aaron is joined today by Assistant Professor Deborah Powers. Now I'll ask Dean Lingo to remain here to congratulate students from her college as we begin announcing the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Vicki Gale Bridgman, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Vicki's co-faculty mentors are Associate Professors Jacob Gross and Amy Hershey. Vicki is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Amy Hershey. Jean Guerrero, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Jean's faculty mentor is Associate Professor Jacob Gross. She is joined today by Professor Jeffrey Sun. Regina Chanel Johnson, Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Leadership and Organizational Development. Regina is joined by faculty mentor, Professor Jeffrey Sun. Katie Jo Burgeis, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. Katie's co-faculty mentors are Professor Patrick Possel and Assistant Professor Amanda Mitchell. Katie is joined by faculty mentor Professor Patrick Possel. Shelby Madison Burton, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. Shelby is joined by faculty mentor Professor Patrick Possel. John M. Hart, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. John is joined by faculty mentor Professor Mark Leach. Lucas Tucker Huckabee, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. Lucas is joined by faculty mentor Professor Mark Leach. Brandon C. Joseph, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. Brandon is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Susan Longerbeam. Stephanie Renee Mayberry, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. Stephanie is joined by faculty mentor, Associate Professor Susan Longerbeam. Kaylin Lee Watterson, Doctor of Philosophy in Counseling and Personnel Services. Kaylin's co-faculty mentors are Associate Professors Laurie McCubbin and Mira Alagaraja. Kaylin is joined by mentor Associate Professor Laurie McCubbin. Lauren Fletcher, Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction. Lauren is joined by faculty mentor Professor Amy Seeley Flint. Shannon Reeves Putman, Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction. Shannon's co-faculty mentors are Associate Professor Justin Cooper and Professor Genevra Cortade. Shannon is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Justin Cooper. Teresa Lee Tennell, Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction. Teresa is joined by faculty mentor Professor Thomas Tretter. Tatiana Nikia Maria Wells, Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum and Instruction. Tatiana's faculty mentor is Professor Michelle Foster. Tatiana is joined today by Associate Professor Shelley Thomas. I will now ask Dr. Beth Boehm, Dean of the Graduate School, to stand in for Interim Dean David Owen of the College of Arts and Sciences to join in congratulating students from the College of Arts and Sciences. Jack Reginald Allen III, Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Sociology. Jack's co-faculty mentors are Associate Professors Melanie Gast and Karen Christopher. Jack is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Karen Christopher. Clinton James Ballot, Doctor of Philosophy in Biology. Clinton is joined by faculty mentor Professor Michael Menza. Hector Eduardo Mendoza, Doctor of Philosophy in Biology. Hector is joined by faculty mentor Professor Michael Perlin. Rachel Leanne Wells, Doctor of Philosophy in Biology. Rachel is joined by faculty mentor Professor Stephen Yanoviak. Caleb Aaron Calvary, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry. Caleb's co-faculty mentors are Professors Craig Grapperhaus and Robert Buchanan. Caleb is joined by faculty mentor Professor Robert Buchanan. Arghya Pratim Ghosh, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry. Arghya's faculty mentor is Professor Paweł Kozłowski. Arghya is joined today by Professor Robert Buchanan. Megan Joy Toda McIntosh, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry. Megan's faculty mentor is Professor Paweł Koloski. Megan is joined today by Professor Robert Buchanan. Salorm Joy Fana, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry. Salorm's faculty mentor is Associate Professor Farshid Ramanzanapur. Salorm is joined today by Professor Michael Nans. Faisal Ibrahim, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry. Faisal is joined by faculty mentor Professor Michael Nans. Noor Mohammed Hamed Jamhawi, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry. Noor is joined by faculty mentor Professor Richard Witteborg. Kelly Elizabeth Slaughter, Doctor of Philosophy in Clinical Psychology. Kelly's faculty mentor is Associate Professor Paul Rosen. Kelly is joined today by Professor Bernadette Walter. Caroline Greiner Gay Magales, Doctor of Philosophy in Experimental Psychology. Caroline's faculty mentor is Professor Carolyn Mervis, and Caroline is joined today by Associate Professor Kara Cashin. Nona Marie Olson, Doctor of Philosophy in Experimental Psychology. Nona is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Kara Cashin. Edward Howard Byers, Doctor of Philosophy in Criminal Justice. Edward's faculty mentor is Professor Gennaro Vito. Edward is joined today by Professor George Higgins. Emily Margaret Homer, Doctor of Philosophy in Criminal Justice. Emily is joined by faculty mentor Professor George Higgins. Caroline Isabelle Chaland, Doctor of Philosophy in Criminal Justice. Caroline is joined by faculty mentor Professor George Higgins. Daniel Ray Jude, Doctor of Philosophy in Criminal Justice. Daniel's co-faculty mentors are Professor George Higgins and Associate Professor Viviana Andrescu. Daniel is joined by faculty mentor Professor George Higgins. Amanda M. Roberts, Doctor of Philosophy in Criminal Justice. Amanda is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Kristen Schwartz. Elizabeth Lane Glass, Doctor of Philosophy and Humanities. Elizabeth's faculty mentor is Professor Paul Greiner, and Elizabeth is joined today by Professor Elaine Wise. Tiffany Dillard Knox, Doctor of Philosophy in Pan-African Studies. Tiffany is joined by faculty mentor Professor Ricky Jones. Rajib Khan Musa, Doctor of Philosophy in Physics. Rajib is joined by faculty mentor Professor Ming Yu. Amanda N. Denton, Doctor of Philosophy in Urban and Public Affairs. Amanda's faculty mentor is Professor Janet Kelly. Amanda is joined today by Associate Professor Cherie Dawson-Edwards. Ekramul Islam, Doctor of Philosophy in Urban and Public Affairs. Ekramul is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Margath Walker. I would now like to invite Dr. Craig Blakely, Dean of the School of Public Health and Information Sciences, to join in congratulating the candidates from his school. Indranil Ghosh, Doctor of Philosophy in Biostatistics. Indranil is joined by faculty mentor Professor Maying Kong. Nazir Udin, Doctor of Philosophy in Biostatistics. Nazir is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Jeremy Gaskins. Sivarshana Maridu, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health Sciences. Sivarshana's faculty mentors are Associate Professor Torsten Hopp and Professor Gary Hoyle. Sivarshana is joined today by Associate Professor Torsten Hopp. Sarah Christina Van Heiden, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health Sciences. Sarah is joined by faculty mentor Assistant Professor Susan Buccino. Kelsey Blankenship White, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health Sciences. Kelsey is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Jamie Jennings. Diane M. Zero, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health Sciences. Diane is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Scott LaJoy. I would now like to invite Dr. Beth Boehm, Dean of the Graduate School, to congratulate a student from her school. Kalpani De Silva, Doctor of Philosophy in Interdisciplinary Studies with a specialization in bioinformatics. Kalpani's co-faculty mentors are Associate Professor Theodore Kopfleisch and Professor Eric Rochka. I would now like to invite Dr. David Jenkins, Dean of the Raymond A. Kent School of Social Work, to join in congratulating students from his school. Rebecca Michelle Bloomer, Doctor of Philosophy and Social Work. Rebecca is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Leslie Harris. Tammy Alvey Thomas, Doctor of Philosophy and Social Work. Tammy is joined by faculty mentor, Professor Crystal Collins Camargo. Richard Dana Weaver, Jr., Doctor of Philosophy and Social Work. Richard is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Adrian Archuleta. I would now like to ask Dr. Russell Salter, Associate Dean for Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies in the School of Medicine, to join in congratulating students from his school. Jason H. Gumbel, Doctor of Philosophy in Anatomical Sciences and Neurobiology. Jason is joined by faculty mentor, Professor Charles Hupsher. Lisa Christina Oman, Doctor of Philosophy in Anatomical Sciences and Neurobiology. Lisa is joined by faculty mentor, Professor Robin Krim. Timothy Aldum, Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry and Molecular Genetics. Timothy is joined by faculty mentor Professor Stephen Jones. Henry Nebeda, Doctor of Philosophy in Microbiology and Immunology. Henry is joined by faculty mentor Professor Kenneth Palmer. Matthew William Dent, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacology and Toxicology. Matthew's faculty mentor is Professor Nobuyuki Motoba. Matthew is joined today by Professor Motoba and Dr. Jason Christopher Dent. Sophia Marie Sears, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacology and Toxicology. Sophia is joined by faculty mentor Professor Leah Siskin. Mark Matthew Dwenger, Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacology and Toxicology. Mark is joined by faculty mentor Assistant Professor Matthew Nestoriak. Samaya Messina Sledge, Doctor of Philosophy in Physiology and Biophysics. Samaya is joined by faculty mentor Professor Douglas Borchman. I would now like to invite Dr. Sonia Hardinen, Dean of the School of Nursing, to join in congratulating the student from her school. Hadaya Ratib Hassan Henna, Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing. Hadaya is joined by faculty mentor Professor Lynn Hall. I would now like to invite Dr. Emmanuel Collins, Dean of the J.B. Speed School of Engineering, to join in congratulating students from his school. Virendra Atla, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering. Virendra is joined by faculty mentor Professor Mahendra Sunkara. Marze Moradi, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Engineering. Marze is joined by faculty mentor Professor Gerald Willing. Hong Shang, Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering. Hong is joined by faculty mentor Professor Zuihi Sun. Kurosh Tamizdost, Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering. Kurosh is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Omid Gassemifer. Song Wang, Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering. Song is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Sixia Lee. Gisa Sung, Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering. Gisa is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Young Hoon Kim. Mohsen Askari, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science and Engineering. Mohsen is joined by faculty mentor Professor Adel El-Maghrabi. Pega Sagheb, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science and Engineering. Pega is joined by faculty mentor Professor Olfa Nasrawi. Olurotimi Seitan, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science and Engineering. Olurotimi is joined by faculty mentor Professor Olfa Nasrawi. Weem Safta, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science. Weem is joined by faculty mentor Professor Hisham Frigi. Aliskar Sharju Hajiji, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science and Engineering. Aliskar is joined by faculty mentor Professor Hisham Frigi. Amir Hossein Garamani, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering. Amir is joined by faculty mentor Dr. Ted Druffel. Mahmudur Rahman, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering. Mahmudur is joined by faculty mentor Associate Professor Stuart Williams. Pu Han, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering. Pu's faculty mentor is Associate Professor King Shu, who is joined today by Professor Dan Popa. Christopher Kevin Robinson, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering. Christopher is joined by faculty mentor, Professor Dan Popa. Islam Al-Kabani, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering. Islam's faculty mentor is Professor Ali Farag, and Islam is joined today by Dr. Asim Ali. Mohammed Ghanum, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering. Mohammed's faculty mentor is Professor Ali Farag, and Mohammed is joined today by Dr. Asim Ali. Zabe Galici, Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Engineering. Zabe's faculty mentor is Associate Professor Monica Gentili, and Zabe is joined today by Professor John Usher. Parag Jafar Siddiq, Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Engineering. Parag's co-faculty mentors are Professor Kevin Gu and Professor John Usher. Parag is joined today by Professor John Usher. Thank you very much, candidates and faculty. Dean Boehm will now return to the podium to confer degrees.
Listen to nothing else, listen to this. Would all candidates for the degrees of Juris Doctorate, Doctor of Education, and Doctor of Philosophy please stand? Wait. Please hold your applause. Wait. It's not official yet. It's not official. They are candidates for the degrees, and until I say these magic words, they are not official. So, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the University of Louisville, I am pleased to grant each one of you the degree of Juris Doctorate, Doctor of Education, or Doctor of Philosophy in your respected disciplines, based on the recommendation of the faculties of the college and schools in the university. Go at it.
Congratulations and go Cards! Please join us for a brief reception immediately following the ceremony downstairs in the marketplace. Please allow the platform party to recess before exiting. Staff will assist guests with exiting to the reception site, and please remain standing while platform party recesses. Thank you. Go Cards!